Look at that branch. 3 birds, one red, one blue, one so small and watching. They are not resting, they are not singing. They are talking. And every word of it, every single word, is about you. You have been walking past this conversation your entire life. Every morning you step outside. Every time you refill the feeder. Every time you sit on the porch and think nobody's paying attention. They are paying attention. They have always been paying attention. And here is the part that is going to stay with you long after this video ends. The 3 birds on that branch are not the only ones who know your name. The information they have been sharing about you, who you are, whether you are safe, whether you can be trusted, has already traveled. To birds in yards you have never visited, to birds who have never once laid eyes on your face. You have a reputation out there. You just never knew it was being built. Stay with me, because by the end of this, you are going to understand exactly what they decided and what it is going to take to change it. What you have been calling a backyard is not a backyard. It is a room where every wall has ears. Every chip, every call, every stretch of silence between the sounds. It is all data, moving, being processed, being acted on right now, while you stand there thinking you are alone. Redfield posts up on the fence line. Calloway watches from the oak. Dot works the feeder. But she is not just eating. She is listening to both of them at the same time, and what she hears from one, she files against what she hears from the other. This is not one conversation, it is a network. And it runs across species lines. When Redfield chips, the sparrows hear it. When Calloway calls, the nuthatches adjust. When Dot goes quiet, everything within 50 feet goes on alert. They are not talking to each other. They are talking to everyone. Here is the thing that should stop you cold. This circuit was already running before you moved in. The birds out there inherited information about this address from the birds before them. You did not start with a clean file. You started with a history. Before you see him, he has already seen you. That is his job. That is what the red is for. Most people think the cardinal's color is about beauty, about attracting a mate, and yes, it is. But out there in the circuit, that red means something else entirely. It means Redfield cannot hide. He was never built to hide. He was built to be seen, to hold a post, and to pay the price of visibility so that every other bird in range does not have to. The moment you open the back door, he chips. Once, sharp, clean, not a song, a signal. It does not say you are dangerous. It says you are a variable. Something has entered the yard that was not there before. All units, stand by. He does not render a verdict. That is not his role. He calls the room to attention and lets the others decide. But understand what that costs him. Every time Redfield announces your presence, he is also announcing his own. He is visible, he is exposed, he does it anyway. Every single morning, he does it anyway. Redfield chips once, and the room goes still. Then Calloway opens his mouth, and the whole neighborhood hears it. That is the difference between those two. Redfield works the room he is standing in. Calloway works every room on the block simultaneously. His call does not stay in your yard. It does not respect property lines. It crosses 3 yards in under 10 seconds, and every bird in range, sparrow, nuthatch, warbler, wren, every single one of them knows exactly what it means. This is not accident. The blue jay's call is one of the most widely recognized alarm signals in the entire backyard system. More species respond to it than almost any other bird's voice. Evolution built Calloway to be loud, to be heard, to make sure the word travels. So when you move wrong, too fast, too close, too sudden, and Calloway decides to run it, you do not just have a problem in your yard. You have a problem in yards you cannot see from your window. Calloway does not whisper. He does not pull you aside. He announces. And the neighborhood listens. Redfield flags you. Calloway broadcasts you. Dot measures you. She is the smallest bird on that branch and the one you should be most concerned about. Because while the other 2 are running real-time operations, Dot is doing something slower and more dangerous. She is building a record. Researchers at the University of Montana spent years studying her call. That familiar Chickadee, and what they found was not background noise. It was a filing system. The number of D notes at the end of that call is not decoration. It is a threat rating. 2 notes means low concern. 4 means pay attention. 7, 8, sometimes more. That means danger is close and it is fast, and every bird within earshot needs to move now. The math is exact. It does not lie. Dr. Christopher Templeton documented something that should make you sit with your coffee a little longer before you step outside. Birds familiar with a specific human generate measurably shorter, quieter sequences than they do for strangers. Dot knows the difference between someone she has filed and someone she has not. The question you need to ask yourself is simple. Which one are you? You think the birds in your yard are the only ones who know you. They are not. Researchers at the University of Washington spent years studying crows. Specifically, what happens when one crow identifies a human face as a threat? What they found was not contained to that one bird. The information traveled. Crows who had never once encountered that researcher began responding to his face with alarm, with mobbing, with the full force of a threat they had never personally experienced. They had been told. And they remembered what they were told. That is not instinct. That is culture. That is one generation passing a verdict to the next. The same mechanism runs through your yard right now. Dots file on you. Those denote counts. Those call sequences. That vocal portrait she has been building since your first morning outside has moved. Through the call network in real time. Through social learning across weeks and months. It has reached birds in yards you have never stood in. You do not have a neutral reputation out there. You never did. The only question worth asking is whether what's traveling is working for you, or quietly working against you. Tomorrow morning, before you do anything else, stop at the door and listen. Here is what you are listening for. The sharp chip. Single, brief, clean. That is the circuit coming to attention. Something changed and Redfield logged it. If it fades within 30 seconds and does not repeat, you pass the assessment. They looked, they measured, they moved on. That is a good morning. The seat, thin, almost invisible, designed specifically to be hard to locate. This is not a watch call. This is genuine alarm. A sound built to travel without revealing its source. If you hear this when you step outside, understand what just happened. You did not just startle one bird. You broadcast a threat signal to every bird in range. The whole circuit just updated your file. The contact chip, soft, low, irregular, unhurried. This is the sound of a yard that is not worried about you. This is trust, made audible. The mobbing call, loud, harsh, coordinated, multiple species joining as one. This is a neighborhood emergency, rarely aimed at a person. When it is, the record does not clear quickly. And then there is the one that matters most. The alarm that never comes. The feeder that stays full of birds when you appear. That silence is not empty. That silence is the loudest thing they can say about you. Nobody told you the rules. That is the hard part. You were not trying to cause problems. You moved fast near the feeder because you were running late. You forgot to refill it for 2 weeks because life got heavy. You let the cat out because the cat always goes out. You were on the phone, voice loud, at 7 in the morning when the yard was still waking up. None of it felt like a decision. All of it was data. Redfield flagged the sudden movement. Filed. Callaway ran the word on the erratic schedule. Here 1 week, gone the next. Unpredictable. Do not rely on this address. The early morning noise hit the circuit at the worst possible hour, when every bird in the yard was exposed and feeding and most vulnerable. Dot counted the D notes, and the count went up, and the cat. Callaway announced the cat the first week. That announcement has never been retracted. The cat lives at your address. In the circuit, your address and the cat share the same file. Here is what you need to understand about all of it. None of these were mistakes. They were entries, and entries do not expire. The circuit does not accept apologies. It does not respond to good intentions. It does not care what kind of week you had, or why the feeder ran empty, or what you meant to do. The only currency it recognizes is consistency. Same hour, same pace, same quiet presence day after day, until the pattern you are laying down is longer and steadier than the damage already on file. Stop approaching the feeder. Let them come to you. Every time you move toward them, you are a variable again. Something to be assessed. Something that requires a response. Every time you hold still and let them close the distance, you become something else. You become part of the yard, a fixture, a thing that does not require monitoring. Sit long enough and watch what happens. Redfield chips once, then stops. Callaway watches but does not call. Dot runs her count. 4 notes, then 3, then 2. 1 quiet morning at a time, the number comes down. That is not nothing. That is everything. Going invisible does not mean disappearing. It means the circuit has reclassified you. Not a threat, not a variable. Landscape. That is the highest trust a wild thing knows how to give. It does not happen the way you expect it to. There is no morning where the sky opens up. No single moment you can point to and say, that was it. That was when everything changed. It is a week. Just a week. Monday, Redfield chips twice instead of 4 times. Tuesday, Callaway watches from the oak but does not open his mouth. Wednesday, the feeder stays busy when you step outside. Nobody flushes, nobody pulls back. Thursday and Friday you almost stop noticing, which is exactly the point. Saturday you forget to watch for it. And then Sunday, ordinary Sunday, cold coffee, nothing special about it. Dot comes down to the branch 2 feet from where you are standing. Not 3 feet. Not safe distance. 2 feet. She does not flush. She does not call. She tilts her head once, that small precise movement that means the file is open, the assessment is running, and then she goes back to eating. Just like that. You do not move. You barely breathe. Because you understand, without anyone telling you, what just happened. The circuit ran your name this morning, and this time it came back clean.